Our top story tonight, we hear from friends of one of the 8 men stabbed to death in Sheffield. 22-year-old Fahim Hirsi was killed outside a cinema complex last month.
It's the first time anyone close to the victims has spoken out. We'll hear from them in a moment, but first, Mark Ansell has been to the gym where Fahim volunteered. The tragic irony is that Unity Gym in Broomhall works with teenagers to attempt to divert them away from crime.
Fahim Hirsi was a university student with a bright future. Last month he went to Cineworld in Sheffield. Following an argument between 2 sets of friends, he was stabbed in the chest and died. Friends say he never carried knives. In fact, he was so passionate about guiding young people down the right path in life that he volunteered every week at Unity Gym in Broomhall. It's a charity gym where young, vulnerable people are nurtured and supported by volunteers like Saeed.
You come here and you speak about what you think, to Saeed, and then he'll help you figure it out. Like, if I've got trouble out there, he'll help me figure out how to prevent it and stuff. I ain't doing none of that, like, bad stuff. It's like, because of here, because of Unity, I'm just a better person.
It's about recognising really the challenges that young people have, when they come from a community such as Broomhall. It's about ensuring that young people are given the tools ultimately to be able to cope and to make sure that they are, making the right choices.
Fahim's death has made the young people who use this gym even more determined to lead by example and stay away from violent crime.
Within the tragedy, there's like a silver lining around it, and unfortunately it had to take this for some young people to realise, put the knives down, because people can really get hurt.
So remember, straight back, core engaged, and don't bend your arms too much.
Will is one of the youth work volunteers at the gym and is a researcher at the University of Sheffield.
We know, for example, from speaking to young people and from conducting research with young people, that when opportunities for them are provided to stay out of trouble, they make use of those opportunities. So young people talk about using the gym to stay fit, to get involved in positive activities, but also to stay out of trouble.
Perhaps Fahim's legacy will be to highlight the value of safe spaces that nurture and unify young people like Unity Gym. Mark Ansell, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
9 people were arrested in relation to Fahim's death, but all have been released without charge. With us now are 2 of his friends, Saeed Brassab. He's the founder of the Unity Gym, and Councillor KALTUM Rivers, a volunteer there. Firstly, we're so sorry for your loss. I know that you miss your friend a lot. Tell us about Fahim. Tell us what he was like.
Well, Fahim was unique in many ways, really. He was someone who always had time for other people, and he was always there for you if you needed to speak to him. He was a young person who used our services, but then was very touched by the impact of what we were making and what we were doing to support young people. So he really got involved in becoming a volunteer. And our sessions on the weekends, which we kind of use sport as a main tool to engage with young people. He was one of the key people that were involved in supporting young people there.
And yet it's so tragic that he died from knife crime when he was really trying to stop it. KALTUM, what's the wider impact of these 8 deaths in just 1 year in Sheffield?
Well, the thing is, across the country we're having similar issues. In Sheffield we've got the fact that there are no opportunities for young people in some areas, school exclusions. There's a lot of other issues that are contributing to this. It's not just a knife crime didn't just appear, so we need to look into the what's causing these issues.
I know that the Mayor of London has been criticised for introducing stop and search again. Would that work, or is that the kind of situation that would alienate the community more?
I think what we've got to look at is, we have a lot of young people, particularly young people that we work with, who've had experience of poor practice of stop and search, where it's led to them. They've been victimised and targeted and profiled. So to some extent, there's a quite clear distrust in terms of services, particularly police around that issue. So, if we're going to go down that route, we need to ask ourselves how much of an impact will that make in tackling the issue that we have. So
you don't think that that is the right way forward for Sheffield, increasing stop and search?
I mean, not in the area that we're in, to be honest. I think, if we look at the cost of what involved in doing that, that's resources that could be put in to working with young people to ultimately build on that capacity of actually making better choices.
Are you
for
talking
them.
about in schools, in community centres? Where does this work need to be?
You know, what our experience tells us is the value of early interventions, really. So I think, you know, we've you know, in the community that we're in 9 years we've lost 3 young people. You know, so it's about, we recognise the value of early intervention, so it's important that we get to that.
You mentioned, KALTUM, there about exclusions were adding to the problems as well. Are exclusions in Sheffield particularly high?
Yes, we're seeing exclusions are high, and it's something that we should be tackling. But the problem is we need to do early years intervention in schools. We need to support schools, because cuts are also causing schools to think about numbers and achievements and attainments within the schools. So if we're not really supporting schools, then the exclusions are going to just either stay the same or get higher.
Well, KALTUM and Fahim, thank you very much indeed. I'm sure it's something that we'll be returning to. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.